Welcome to Charlotte Readers Podcast, where authors give voice to their written words. I'm Landis Wade, your host, and as you can tell, we're not in the podcast studio today. We're at Park Road Books, the host of the show, and I'm with J.D. DuPuy, an author who's going to appear in the second season of the podcast. J.D., how you doing, man?
I'm great, Landis. Thanks for having me.
So, on the podcast, you read from your book that you co-authored with Mary Laura Philpott called Poetic Justice, Legal Humor in Verse. First question I've got is, do you think lawyers really have a sense of humor?
I think lawyers, lawyers are some of the funniest people I know, actually.
Yeah.
You have to have a good sense of humor to deal with some of the stuff you deal with day in and day out.
Yeah. And you've got an opening statement for this book, right?
I do.
Yeah.
It sort of sets the tone for what's to come.
So let's hear the opening statement.
Okay, great. Well, some say we're a homogeneous group, that we make the exact same impression, and others crack wise on continuous loop, making fun of our chosen profession. We beg to differ and hope you will agree that the law is full of varied characters. Just because each attorney has a JD doesn't mean we're all alike to the letter. It's true there are types in real life as in art, and you'll find several in these pages, ranging from classmates to judges to partners, from everybody's law career stages. The fact is, we're unique and we're similar. As much as each lawyer is different, we share something, no matter where we are, big firm or small, in-house or government. So if humor gets you through the day, read on, and gather round, ye Latin-speaking nerds. Let down your guard, relax, and get your laugh on. You may find yourself somewhere in these words.
All right. So do you enjoy making fun of lawyers? Yeah.
No, I mean...
Because you are a lawyer.
Yeah, I am a lawyer, and yes, I mean, I like making... But this book isn't really about lawyer jokes, per se. It's more about kind of a wink and a nod to fellow lawyers that you find yourself in these bizarre and strange situations.
You're laughing with lawyers.
Yeah. And I've had people kind of reach out to me and say, you know, I've thought that before, but I've never said it out loud, you know, that kind of thing, when they've read some of the work.
So in this book, you take us through all the stages of being a lawyer. You start with law school. Mm-hmm. You take us through the courtroom, depositions, whatever, and you end with what you jokingly call the last stage of being a lawyer, which you call disillusionment. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We take you through all the various stages, being a young lawyer in the law firm, after law school, and then also civil litigation, transactional lawyer. There's something for everybody. You know?
So what did you hope to accomplish with the book?
Well, I just think it was just, for me personally, it was more like I just had all this creative energy that was just bubbling up inside, and I want to do something with it. And they always say, write what you know. So I thought, well, okay, I'll do this. So I worked on some ideas with my co-author, and we came up with this concept. And it was just a way of getting a creative release, but also something that I thought people would enjoy.
And you you sort of have a nod to some famous authors and poets. You've got something in the Edgar Allan Poe zone that you call what do you call the Ravenclaw or something?
The Raven. It's named the Raven after the Raven.
So you even plagiarized. Right?
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Not very lawyerly of me, I guess.
No, but you got one that's sort of a wink to Robert Frost, and it's about a young real estate lawyer who's a bit unclear about how to plat out this latest real estate project.
That's right.
Okay.
And if you know anything about Robert Frost, you'll recognize the cadence and certainly what this is based on. It's called The Call Not Taken. 2 lines diverged on a Mylar plat, and to one call I could not commit. And being new here, sweating I sat, and wondered just how it could be that a single line could seemingly split. One line was an easement of some sort, but which was which I was doomed to fail. The clock was ticking, time had grown short, and as my guts started to contort, I sat alone and chewed my thumbnail. Being young and scared, I dared not ask my cruel senior partner for his take, for fear of catching merciless flack or being the victim of a wisecrack when he realized I was a fake. So I chose the one that I thought right, with anxiety and doubts acute. 2 lines diverged on a plat, and I called the one less traveled by, and that led to my malpractice suit.
Okay.
Sort of a sad ending.
That's a sad ending.
Versus the real Robert Frost poem.
Well, All right, so you also, in addition to this type of poetry, you throw some haiku at us, right?
We do.
Yeah.
I mean, we got all different
Yeah.
methods and styles of poetry, so we wanted to throw a few haiku out there
All
as
right,
well.
give us a few
All right,
titles,
sure.
and let's hear some haiku. These are only like 3 lines, right?
Yeah, and it's sort of the title and then the haiku
'Cause you're not
itself.
charging by the line or anything.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Okay, the first one's called Measuring Time. Remember sun, moon, day, night, week, year, now it's all 6-minute increments.
Yeah, so I'm so glad I'm not keeping a timesheet.
I know, right? Yeah,
All right.
congratulations, by
Thank
the
you. I
way.
appreciate that, yeah.
The next one's called Employment Rates. Well-meaning friends ask, what type of law will you practice? Any type that hires.
Yeah, that's typical. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've got one called The Lawyer's Spouse here.
This is the one I like.
Yeah.
Because it's happened to me at home.
I'm glad there's at least one thing you like in the book.
Okay, JD.
The Lawyer's Spouse. That won't work on me. I'm not opposing counsel. Objection, my ass.
Yeah, it's like, wife says, don't cross-examine me. I'm not your witness. I'm not your client.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Here's one called Cease and Desist. 50 paragraphs, 300 commas, therefores, just to say, stop it.
Right. You know, if you had more time, you could write something that didn't take as long.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
Here's the last one, conference call. This guy's a dumbass, I said after hitting mute. Oops, didn't hit mute. I think that can kind of translate to a lot of different disciplines, I think, and professions.
Yeah, I don't think that's limited to lawyers.
Not at all.
All right, so what'd you think of the podcast, JD?
I had a great time with the
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
I think it's a great thing. I like more than anything that it's sort of homegrown, that it's shining a light on Charlotte, and it's like an artisanal podcast,
Oh, yeah.
craft
Yeah.
podcast.
Now, do you just sit around in your law office, between conference calls and just write little snippets of poetry? Is that how life is for you?
Oh yeah, all the
Yeah.
time.
Is
It's
it?
just
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
This was a concerted effort done late in the evenings
Yeah.
for well over a year. But
Yeah.
no, I need to get back into it though. I need to
Yeah.
write some more.
Well, look, I want to thank you for coming and sharing some of your poetry.
Thank you.
Today.
Thanks for
and
having me.
hopefully some lawyers out there will get the joke.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Maybe, yeah. Well, that's it for today. Another fine author giving voice to his written words. If you'd like to hear JD wax poetic in the legal sense on Charlotte Readers Podcast, you can see us or hear us or do whatever at Apple Podcasts and wherever you like to get your podcasts, and also at our website, charlottereaderspodcast.com. Until next time, I'm Landis Wade for Charlotte Readers Podcast.